welcome back to Movie Review Mom. And if this is the very first time that you've discovered my YouTube channel, yay, you're here. I'm so glad. I've been waiting for you. So my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to watch a specific film and spend time and money doing so. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called Werewolf by Night. This Halloween horror is now available exclusively on Disney Plus. It's rated TV 14, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about that rating here in just a minute. It's also 52 minutes long, and my overall movie review mom grade is an A-. But let me explain why, and let me give you the heads up on this film, especially if you're a parent thinking, oh, it's Disney, it's going to be perfectly safe for my kids. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like about this movie, as well as specific tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, if there are any, and recommendations for other Halloweeny movies that I think that you'll also like if you like this one, and vice versa. Meaning, if you like those, you'll probably like this one. Okay, so let's dive in a nutshell. This is Marvel's, yes, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, their very first Halloween special. It's an MCU/Disney Plus project that is scheduled to lead into more monster movies as the very first installment. Surely, this is just a small taste to whet your appetite. And I say small because this is not a full length, hour and a half, 2-hour feature film. It's pretty short. Like I said, it is just 52 minutes long. That's less than an hour long, but worth checking out if you like what I'm going to say next. The story is about a lycanthrope superhero of sorts who fights evil using his abilities given to him by a curse brought on by his bloodline. Now, if you don't know what a lycanthrope is, it's a werewolf. Dun, dun, dun. This is the directorial debut of Academy Award-winning composer, yes, composer, Michael Giacchino. He loves the Marvel Cinematic Universe, having written the scores for Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and more recently, Thor, Love and Thunder. In other words, the guy clearly is talented with musical scores. The writing team includes Heather Quinn, Peter Cameron, and Jerry Conway. So keep watching if you want to find out how good his directing talents are. Well, let me share some of the things that I liked about this movie. The opening scene is a quick explanation of the backstory, which is helpful yet a little cumbersome. So, you slog through all of that and then stuff starts happening. The use of black and white filter absolutely pays homage to the old classic horror movies of the 1940s. So that's one thing to take into consideration. This is not a modern looking, colorful film. This looks like an old black and white movie. And some people just don't like that. The fantastic cast includes Gael Garcia Bernal, Laura Donnelly, and Harriet Sampson Harris. Notice what happens at the 16-minute mark and the 31-minute mark. Pay close attention. You'll see what's called a cigarette burn effect in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. So a long time ago, that was the indicator to the projectionist that it was time to change the actual film reel. So I thought that was a really cool touch to the movie to make it look really old-timey. There are some Easter eggs for true MCU fans. For example, you'll see a slow motion chase that's a nod to the scene in the movie The Avengers in 2012 when Hulk chases Black Widow. Now, that is such a tiny detail. A lot of fans that aren't going to catch that, but it's there. Ted is this totally unique, scary, and awesome new character. The cinematic score is perfect. Perfect. Obviously, because the movie is directed by a fantastically talented composer. And as it turns out, he's also a very good director. The surprise ending I thought was random and kind of hilarious. But there were some things I didn't like about the movie. First of all, some viewers might be surprised that Disney has chosen a genre and a look that is quite unlike Disney. Now, that's not to say this is the first scary movie that Disney has made, but it is a new look and feel for Disney. While the TV-14 rating suggests mild violence, there's actually quite a lot of blood and even gore. We just don't notice it, and it's intentional because the film is in black and white. But parents beware, it's kind of a lot. The ending kind of seemed odd. I mentioned it was kind of hilarious and interesting, but it also seemed odd and didn't quite fit a lot of the movie. Now, there's some humor in the movie, and that's where the ending ties in with that humor. Let me give you some tips for parents. There are some scary images that could easily frighten young children. So I would say 14, TV-14 is a better grade for this movie. PG-13 if it were a full feature movie. There is tons of brutal violence with blood splatters and chopped off limbs. I mean, that's how graphic it can be at times. Some of the themes that are illustrated well are family, legacy, trust, friendship, and I guess you could even say genetics. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines, but a lot of the movie doesn't have a lot of lines. There's action and some camera angles and close-ups where you're seeing people's expressions, but often in silence. Anyway, so I didn't write down funny lines or interesting lines because I normally do that so you can get a kind of taste for the movie. But I do want to give you some recommendations for a couple of other movies that you're definitely going to like if you like this one, and like I said, vice versa. The first one is a 1931 version of Dracula. Yes, it's in black and white. It's a classic. You may have never seen it before. And so once you watch that and then this new movie, you're definitely going to see some of the respectful nods to the older previous film. And then another old one, also from 1931, coincidentally, is the classic original Frankenstein. Now, we've seen a lot of remakes, and if you're into more of the goofy, funny Frankenstein, then I also recommend the movie Young Frankenstein. My father actually took me to see it in the movie theaters a long time ago, and I remember him laughing a lot, but I was young, and so the humor just went right over my head. Thankfully, because, you know, there's some adult humor in that movie, but it's a good classic, funny, scary movie. All right, that's it. I hope if you watch this that you'll actually enjoy it and appreciate what Disney's trying to do. Now, if you don't like horror, you don't like scary and some of that dark, bloody, violent stuff, skip it because there are some other fun, more family-friendly Halloween movies that you can watch. So, for example, the newest one is Hocus Pocus Part 2. Anyway, check that one out. Check out some of my other ones on my Movie Review Mom channel. And thank you again so much for subscribing. I really appreciate your support. Have a fantastic day. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.